Welcome to the Art Studios with Ms. Perna and Mrs.DeGroot.
Hello boys and girls, today we are going to create some winter birch trees. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to hold our paper so it's vertical, and then we're going to draw a horizon line, so a line straight across somewhere towards the middle of your page. So nice and light. Then using masking tape about like an inch wide, we're going to create our trees. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add about 4 trees to my page. So I'm going to take my tape, rip, and do my trunks of my trees. Make sure it crosses over that line. So here's 1. We'll do 2. And they can be different sizes, but you want to make sure that they're crossing that line and they're filling up your page. 3 and 4. Okay, we wouldn't do anything more than 4 because you probably won't have enough room. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add our branches. When we add our branches, we want to make them a Y shape, so they're going to go all the way up to the sky. You don't want them facing down, and you don't want them to overlap. So in order to do my branches, I'm going to take a large piece of tape. I'm going to rip it a little bit smaller, and then I'm going to tear that in half so I get smaller pieces. And whatever piece of tape I'm not using, I'm just sticking it on the side of the desk so that this way it's easy for me to grab. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some medium branches on a couple of my trees. You can have like 3 or 4 of them. Okay, if you have a smaller piece, it can go off from the side. I'll do my other trees. Okay, and I'm being really careful not to overlap them. If you need more tape, you could always rip some more. So I'm just filling it up so they become more tree-like. So again, they're always facing up, ripping my tape in half to do those other pieces. I'm just gonna add a couple of them. And you wanna make sure they're pressed down on your page so that this way when we paint them, the paint doesn't get underneath them. Then when you're done with that, you can add a couple smaller branches. You just take the tape that you already ripped and you rip it in half one more time. And then you have them come off of some of the other ones. And you don't have to do it on every branch, but you could pick a couple of them to add a few more. Okay, and once that looks good, you're ready to paint. So in order to do this, I'm gonna create a bottom that looks like snow. So I'm gonna use black very, very lightly. And then I'm gonna use 2 colors for the top. So I'm gonna start mixing my 2 colors for the top, and you can go right over the tape. So I'm gonna let's do red and purple. So I'm gonna start, while it's still wet, I'm gonna do a little bit with that red. Wipe my brush off, go into my purple while it's still wet, so those colors will mix together, create a beautiful sky for us. Fill up my red and purple. And you can do other colors if you want to. Filling up the whole top. You want no white to be left on your page. Gotta make sure that you fill it up, because when we pull the tape off, we're gonna see the white underneath to form our trees. Okay, once you're done with the top, you can work on the bottom. And if you wanted them to be just brown or the black, you could do either or. So I'm gonna wipe my brush off. In order to do the trick to make it look like snow, I need a lot of water and a little bit of paint. So I'm gonna get a lot of water on my brush and a touch of the black and just go over it a little bit. Now, if you find that you get too much black on there, so I'm gonna purposely put too much black, immediately go into the water and spread it out so that this way it looks lighter. So nice and light. Do the whole thing. Okay. And then after you're done, they need to dry completely before you rip the tape off. And when you rip the tape off, you're going to want to do the branches first and then do the trunks of your tree. The trunks of your tree should be last. Okay, then after that, we're going to do the oil pastels. So we'll let that dry and then we'll come back to it. Okay, now once we've removed the tape, we are going to add our value to our birch trees. So I'm going to pick one of the sides of my trees to have my shadow. So with my oil pastel, I'm going to do a line all the way up the same side of my tree. So if I choose the left one here, I'm choosing the left one over here. Same thing here. And same thing here. And then on the bottom where I put that same shadow, I'm going to do a little shadow underneath. Okay, and then for the bottoms of your branches, you're also going to see a shadow on the bottoms because we're thinking of the sun up high, so the sun's going to shine down, so the white is going to be your highlight on top, and underneath is going to be your shadow. So a little line on the bottom for our shadows. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to blend them. Okay, to blend them, I'm going to use my finger. And I'm just going to push the oil pastel over a little bit. So I don't want it to go all over the place. So I'm just sliding it over a little bit. All the way up my tree. Very carefully on my little branches. Okay, and then I would do the same thing for my other trees. When I do the next part, I'm going to add the little hatch marks in the birch trees. So I'm going to do kind of like a curved line, not a letter U, but I'm going to go all the way across, back and forth to make them look more 3D, all the way up. Okay, same thing on my branches, little tiny lines. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mix all of my other shadows in, and then I'm going to add the lines to my other trees. Then once they're done, you can take a little bit of water and white paint and you can spritz the top to make it look like snow. So have fun doing this, boys and girls.